All right, so we begin this morning, though, in Iran, where the country's government has confirmed that its president was among a group of officials killed in a helicopter crash early Sunday. It took rescue crews hours to find the wreckage in the dense and foggy conditions in northwestern Iran. Our Holly Williams is closely following all of this from London for us. Holly, good morning.
Good morning, Anne-Marie and Lindsay. Well, we still don't know what caused this crash, but it comes at a time of extreme tension in the Middle East. And Iran is at the very heart of those hostilities.
The Iranian president's helicopter crashed in the mountains of northern Iran. Rescue workers trekked through dense fog to retrieve the bodies. President Raisi, a hardline conservative leader in the Islamic Republic, was returning from a meeting with the leader of neighbouring Azerbaijan. Iran's cabinet said the hard-working president had been martyred, vowing the government would operate without the slightest disruption. But the crash comes at a time of heightened instability in the Middle East, as Iran fights a so-called shadow war with Israel. Iran's proxies include Hamas, Hezbollah in Lebanon and the Houthis in Yemen. In Ukraine, Russia's using Iranian drones, and Iran's nuclear program is thought to be edging closer to being able to produce weapons. Also killed in the crash was Iran's foreign minister, Hossein Amir Abdollahian, who we interviewed in November.
Sounds like you're saying that Iran backs these groups around the Middle East, including the Houthis, including fighters in Iraq and Syria, but you bear no responsibility for what they do.
These groups in Iraq and Syria that are attacking US interests have made their own decisions, he told us. President Raisi took office in 2021 after an election that excluded more moderate candidates. But he's only the second most powerful man in Iran after the country's real leader, the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, an unelected Muslim cleric who's ruled since 1989 with ultimate control over the government, the military, the courts and the media. In 2022, his government carried out a deadly crackdown on mass protests led by women, many tearing off their compulsory Islamic head coverings as they demanded greater freedom.
Iran's first vice president will take over as interim leader, and the country will hold fresh presidential elections within 50 days. But in Iran, those elections are unlikely to be democracy as Americans know it. Anne-Marie and Lindsay.
Holly, as you mentioned, this is a very sensitive time within the Middle East because of the conflict that's happening between Israel and Hamas. Will Raisi's death have any sort of impact beyond Iran, though? Seeing as he's sort of the second highest, I don't know if much will change, but what's the likely implication?
Yeah, well, you've hit the nail on the head. I mean, the president's influence or impact as an individual is somewhat limited because above him there is the supreme leader, in this case, the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, as you saw just in our report. The country has competitive elections, but who can actually run in those elections is, monitored and decided by Iran's Guardian Council. But more broadly, Iran's decisions and its behaviour are critically important to the Middle East. Its proxies have been attacking Israel and US interests in the Middle East. Last month, we saw Iran directly attack Israel with missile strikes, and its nuclear program is deeply concerning to the US and many of its allies. So all of those things play into tensions and instability in the Middle East.
And Raisi was seen as a possible successor to the supreme leader you mentioned in your package as the real leader. So what names will be considered now?
So the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is now 85 years old. He's been in power for over 30 years. And the process of choosing his successor in Iran is deeply secretive. But it's thought that the late president, Ebrahim Raisi, was considered by some to be a possible candidate. Another rumoured candidate to take over is the Ayatollah's son, Mojtaba Khamenei. I think in a country like Iran that has seen these mass protests, bloody crackdowns, one leader in power for over 3 decades, a change in leadership always raises fears of increased instability.
Okay. Holly, thank you for that report.
All right, Shalom. I'm the brother Siyat, coming back with another video. But before I start off, I would like to give all praises and the highest honor to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kodash. I want to give double honor to my elder apostles and teachers of Great Millstone, and peace and salutation to the sincere Akyam across the world who are spreading this knowledge in truth and sincerity, and may the election be upon your households. Kar Shalom. So yeah, you just saw the video concerning the president of Iran dying in a so-called helicopter crash. Okay. Now, what's funny is that Iran and you know which country, let me put up the flag of the country. Let me see. This country right here been attacking each other lately. And now all of a sudden, mysteriously, their president dies, of Iran. So, you bet that, these Edomites, these so-called white people from higher positions are behind this, There were multiple helicopters, if I'm correct. Maybe one of the helicopters was influenced. The people from one helicopter had an assignment, to take down the helicopter with the president in it, for example, But things like this, is prophecy, because this will cause even more tension to rise up in the Middle East. Okay, because that is where the Most High, will bring all the nations to fight the battle of Armageddon, if I'm saying correct. So, Shabbat, look. Let me do this. Revelation. 1 second, I forgot it. Wait. Valley of Shabbat. Alright, Joel chapter 3. Verse 12 is gonna say it. It says here, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, which means, the valley of judgments, basically. Yahweh Shabbat, Yahweh's judgment, For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And this is gonna be in the Middle East, where you see all these countries already gathering, because countries like Holland, are bringing their troops to the Middle East. Okay, countries like the U.S. are bringing their troops to the Middle East to fight with Israel, and then you have Russia, if I'm correct, or other countries that is also putting soldiers and whatnot and weaponry towards the Middle East. For the situation that is happening over there, so all these nations are gathering the troops to come together in that area, the Middle East. Okay, so annoying, man. Let me see. Anyway, let me find the scripture also, Revelation 16:16, because I spoke about the battle of Armageddon. Let me find it in the Blue Letter Bible. So Revelation chapter 16. Verse 16, it says, let me start at verse 15. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth. What is written in red, that is what Yahushua is saying. Blessed is he that watcheth. And he says he comes as a thief. Not that he is a thief, but just like how a thief comes unannounced. He just comes when he, when it's his timing, He comes not he comes not in a minute that like, oh, the thief is coming right now. Let me be prepared. No, man. When you're sleeping, when you think all is good, that is when the thief comes and busts your door in the night. So Yahushua is also gonna come up, upon this world, upon the people like that, man. People are not gonna be prepared for him. Okay. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon, but it says Armageddon in the Hebrew. Which, if you go to this word, Armageddon, the hill or city of Megiddo, it says. So basically, 1 minute. Let me see. Yeah, Armageddon, yes, in the Hebrew. So basically, the how do you say that? The war, you know, is gonna be rousing up. It's gonna be fought in the Middle East, and the climax will be that, you know, the land of Israel is gonna be totally destroyed, and America, you know, known as Babylon the Great, is gonna be totally destroyed. Now, this word Armageddon, when you go deeper into it, you know, in the root word etymology, I click here, it says Har, you know, which means hill or mountain or hill country, mount. And here it says Mageddon, which means place of crowds. So basically, you know, where a lot of, how do you say that? Military might is going to be gathered, you know, troops, so to speak, is going to be the Middle East, you know, the mountain of troops, so to speak, is Armageddon. All right. And Iran plays a major role in, you know, World War III, man. Okay. We can read it here in 2nd Ezra chapter, let me see, I believe it's 15. Yes, 15. Let me start at verse 28. Behold, an horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia, so the Ishmaelites, the so-called Arabians, shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. So the Arabians, you know, also coming with their military might. Also the Carmanians, this is the people from Iran, the Persians, also, you know. So also the Carmanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood. A wild boar is like a wild pig. It's very wild, very aggressive animal, you know. These Iranians are not gonna back down, man. And with great power shall they come, you see, and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. Now, this Assyrians here speaks symbolically of Esau, the so-called white man. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. And if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then these shall be troubled blood, and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. So they're going to make these Edomites, you know, afraid, man. You know, the Iranians together with the Arabs, you know, going to do some damage. And they're already busy over there in the Middle East, you know. So a plane crash like this where they kill their president, you know, is not something lightly, man. Okay. We have to keep our eyes open because, hey, war is coming. So, you know, Lord willing, this was edifying. And with that, I want to give all praises and the highest honor to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. I want to give double honor to my elder apostles and teachers of Great Millstone, and peace and salutation to the sincere Akim across the world who has spread his knowledge and truth and sincerity. May the election be upon your households. God shalom.